Joyce and I thought perhaps we could take over the flat, if that's all right with you. Mine's so frightfully small.
Are you and Joyce in the flat?
Yes. Oh, not a flat. Your flat. Oh, when you've moved out, that is.
Congratulations, Mervyn. That's wonderful.
Oh, I think it's fantastic.
The flat, do you think it would be possible?
Well, look, no worries. I've been looking for an excuse to hurry things up.
Hey, Nora, I haven't changed my mind about jumping, you know.
Oh, that'd be great. The girls would really enjoy their dinner then, wouldn't they?
No, I don't suppose they would.
And you can bet your bottom dollar Kelly would grab your share.
Oh, like hell she will.
Hey, what's wrong?
Oh, I don't know. Look out! Daphne! Oh, what happened? Is she all right?
Yeah. Oh, she's safe now.
Talking of him downstairs, he left something for you.
Huh?
Probably trying to make up for the scotch.
Jane. It's beautiful. What can I say?
I don't say anything. Bloody typical, isn't it? Hello? No, that's all right, Anne. Why, did they say what they wanted? Right. No. Oh, thanks for letting me know. No, right, okay. Bye-bye.
What's wrong?
Police are trying to contact me. Do you remember Frank Burke saying he'd get me if it was the last thing he ever did? But he's escaped and was seen heading towards Melbourne.
It's all right, I've called the fire brigade.
What about Joe?
The house is empty. I'm going in to save a few things.
She must be in there.
Oh, I banged on all the doors. It's all locked up.
I'm telling you, she is. Joan! Joan! You in there?
What's that call? Let's go out.
All I can say is this Ganola place must be some sort of a holiday camp if a moron like Burke can break out of it.
Well, how come you know so much about him?
Because he was here, wasn't he? Before you lot got here.
One of those three men.
Let's just say we was like that before the bastard tried to put one over on me.
Frank Burke, I remember him. He was the one that did that terrible thing to little Pixie.
Who?
Oh, terrible it was. They say she never recovered.
Mason was a twit anyway.
But what did he do?
Oh, she let him get him in the library all on her own. What'd she expect?
He raped her?
And the rest. Pity he's not still around. Might liven you lot up a bit.
He better not come back here again. We fixed him once, we'll fix him again.
You old fossil, you didn't fix him. Was Desmond lagged on him? Just remember that before you go turning her into some sort of a bloody saint. She was a lagging bitch.
You shut your mouth.
I'd be careful who I was calling a lagger if I was you.
Oh, how's Daffy, Nora?
Yeah, what happened?
She's okay. They got her under observation in sick bay.
I wonder how she got all the way up to the roof.
Had a bit to say to that cop, didn't you? About me shooting that bloke yesterday.
Just told him what happened.
With a few little extras thrown in just to spice it up.
You calling me a lagger? I'd like to see you prove it.
Oh, it'll keep.
I can take you into Benandra.
That'll do.
too dangerous.
I think we'll have to have a garage sale.
Oh, bloody Burke. I can't even give the woman in my life an engagement ring without him mucking it up.
He hasn't mucked it up.
I'll check along.
Who is it?
Police. Senior Detective Talbot.
Oh, come in.
Glad to see you being careful.
Any word?
Not since we first contacted you, but we've had a chat with his cellmate. And according to him, Burke's got a hit list.
And I'm on it.
Along with Jeff McRae and a few others.
Well, Burke was always big on threats, not so big on carrying them out.
Well, we're taking this one seriously. A rifle's gone missing from a farm shed near the prison, along with some ammo and a hacksaw. It sounds like he means business.
Well, what now?
We're keeping Mr. Crookshank under full 24-hour surveillance. Don't worry, we're all out to get this bloke before he tries anything. You won't get far.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
No, I really am worried.
Take it easy. Don't try to get up.
I'm all right.
We'd better get you to hospital anyway.
I haven't had a lot of smoke, Jane. I said I'm all right. See a doctor. There's nothing wrong with me. I just need a bit of air.
You all right?
I'm fine.
We managed to contain the fire in the kitchen. There's not much structural damage.
It's my house. Why don't you tell me?
Sorry.
What started it?
Well, it's hard to know exactly, but did you leave a power source on? Well, it might have been a short, but it seemed in one centralised area. So we'll have to call in the fire investigation team.
Joan, I want you to see a doctor.
There was no short.
How do you know?
I know. It was a deliberate attempt to kill me.
You from round here?
Nah.
If you're looking for a job, there's not much going.
I got a job all lined up. I give it up. Better side road up there.
Yeah, doesn't go anywhere.
Why don't you turn off?
Why?
Why not? We're in no hurry.
You'll be walking again in a minute. Hey!
Don't stop. Just slow down. Turn. I said turn!
Take your things through to the bedroom. I'll put on some coffee.
Oh, no, look, I'll sleep here. This is quite comfortable.
Don't be silly.
I'm not being silly. Look, Terry, I shouldn't even be here. You're taking a risk just having me in the flat. Now, until this thing's settled one way or another, the more distance you keep between you and me, the better.
Now stop that. For a start, I think you're imagining all this about people trying to kill you.
Terry, I have just stopped Ruth Ballinger escaping and killed one of the men hired to help her. I'd hardly call that imagining.
But you don't know for sure if there's a connection. Now, even if it's true, you don't think I'd leave you to face it alone.
Terry, there's nothing you can do to help. It's too big.
I didn't do too badly this afternoon. Joan, if this is what you think it is, please don't shut me out.
Oh, don't you see that? It just makes it all that much harder. I mean, if anything were to happen to you...
And what if it was the other way round? Would you turn your back on me?
No. All right, I'll talk to the people concerned and see if we can't work something out. What about that coffee?
Coming right up.
Right. Who's going to have the last potato cake?
Oh, you have it. I'm absolutely full.
In that case, I will. Love Greek food.
Greek food?
Place was called the Parthenon.
Oh.
Sound Greek to me.
Now, come on. We've got to get all this work done. Where do you think we should put the TV set?
Well, I think we put it over there.
Right.
And pull the couch round and sit together and watch it. Ah, just think, Joycey. Rainy, wintry nights cuddled up watching old movies.
Sounds wonderful. Mervyn, you are putting grease all over my blouse, please.
Sorry, darling. Look, just a sec. I'll get it off.
No, don't worry.
it's all right, it's all right.
Do
I'll
not
get it off.
No, leave it. Please, leave it. Don't care about the television set. I'd better get my kitchen things and put them in the cupboards.
Well, you'd better wait until this room. There's not much cupboard space. And after I've got my things in, well...
Oh, no, it's my kitchen, dear. I'll put my things in first.
Why is it your kitchen?
Well, because it is.
And I like to cook too. It's what I do, remember?
Yes, but you don't want to come home every night and slave over a hot stove, now do you?
Yes, I happen to enjoy cooking.
Yes, I know that, but home here, it's my job.
Are you telling me I can't use the kitchen?
No, of course not. You can play around in there as much as you like.
Play around? What do you mean, play around? Cooking's very serious to me. I thought you knew that.
Well, of course, but why are you making such an issue out of it?
Because obviously it is an issue.
All right. If you feel that way, I'll cook in the bathroom.
Oh, look, Joyce. This is terrible. Why are we arguing?
Obviously because you don't think my cooking's good enough.
Oh, yes, I do. I think you're a wonderful cook.
Oh.
I just don't want you to have all the work to do. That's all. I want us to share everything. Sweetheart, it's our first night in our own place. Let's not spend it arguing.
I suppose we do have better things to do.
I certainly hope so.
Can I talk to you for a minute?
Oh, sure, Eddie. I was just thinking.
Yeah, that's what I was going to talk to you about. Myra?
Oh.
Your council's just finished meeting and voting on who should go to the funeral, and we reckon it should be you. Oh, we'll tell Mrs. Reynolds tomorrow. Can't see any reason why she wouldn't let you go. That's if you want to.
Yeah, Eddie, I do, thanks.
As a matter of fact, I'm getting a bit sick of this war. It seems to go on forever. And people like Myra get killed.
Well, maybe she's better off. At least she's out of this place. Oh, God, I hope I don't die in here.
Well, I reckon you're better off here than outside. At least here you got friends.
Friends? Friends don't make up for not having a home. Family and kids. They're the things that make life really worthwhile.
Yeah, but maybe some people aren't meant to have those things, and if they're not, well, you might as well be here as anywhere else.
Anything's better than this. I wish someone had had the sense to see that 23 years ago instead of throwing a whole life away before it even started. Freedom. That's what makes you a real person. Without it, you're nothing.
Well, I had freedom and I still felt nothing.
Well, maybe you didn't try hard enough. If it had been me, I would have grabbed it with both hands.
Couldn't get a machine. Oh, I guess I must be walking in on something private.
Oh, I can go to a call box.
No, go on. I won't listen.
Yeah.
Joan Ferguson.
Joan, how are things?
I think you might know.
I really didn't expect to hear from you again. I'm flattered you kept my number.
Someone set fire to my house.
I'm sorry to hear that. Frightening the amount of vandalism goes on today.
The only thing you're sorry about is that I'm still alive. Now, we both know that you set it up on Ballinger's orders.
I think you're underestimating the amount of enemies you've made over the years, Joni. Surely you don't think Arnie and I are the only ones.
I'm not calling to play games, fellows. I'm calling to make you a deal. You once said that I could be very useful to you. You were right. And I still can.
Too bad you didn't take up the offer when I made it. I'm afraid it's been withdrawn now. Well, nothing personal, Joni. I hope you understand that. You see, my choice is either your neck or mine. Don't think I have to tell you which one it's going to be, do I?
Here, look, over there. I'll mind it.
You sure?
Aye, I can tell by the way he's holding the newspaper.
You shouldn't make it so obvious, should you?
Frank Burke's probably not within 50 miles of the place. I really wouldn't worry.
More toast?
No, thanks.
I'm going shopping this morning. Why don't you take the day off and come with me? No one's going to mind, not after what's happened.
There'll be enough to do getting that prison back to normal.
Yes, but there are other officers.
Oh, that lot. I want the job done properly.
Why can't you just accept you're under a lot of pressure? You hardly slept last night. I heard you pacing around.
Look, Terry, I just... Oh, God.
I just wish you'd listen to me. You're a nervous wreck.
For God's sake, I only spilt the milk. Don't go on about it.
I heard you on the phone last night. It was Fellows on the other end, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's also supposed to be private.
If he's involved, you must go to the police. You need protection.
What can they do? Arnie Ballinger is giving the orders, and he's got half the world in his pocket.
If Fellows knows you're being watched, there's every chance he'll back off. It's better than being a sitting duck, isn't it?
Come on, answer the thing, you bloody... Be there in a minute.
Wentworth Detention Centre.
Oh, I was looking for Dennis Crookshank.
I don't think he's come in yet. No, he hasn't. You might still catch him at home.
Now, well, look, I've just come back from England. I've been doing some business for his family. I'm a solicitor. They gave me some papers to bring back for him, but I need his address.
I'm sorry. We can't give out staff addresses over the phone.
Yeah, well, fair enough. But the thing is, I know most of the address. It's just the paper I wrote it on got beer spilled on it, and the flat number's gone all bloody.
Isn't there a directory board in the foyer?
No, I looked. I asked a couple of people living there, but they didn't know. Can you believe that? Not even knowing who your own neighbours are?
Well, if you'd like to leave a message, somewhere Mr. Crookshank can contact you.
Well, I was only in town for the night, just to straighten out a few things. Just on my way to the airport now. If he's not home, I could live with the people next door, if I know what flat he's in.
You say you know the rest of the address?
Yeah, right here in front of me.
Just a minute. Are you there? It's flat number 3.
Thanks a lot, love. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
I wouldn't bet on it.
As if my nerves aren't frayed enough without those workmen clattering around in the rec room first thing in the morning. You and the rest of us. Well, I hope our new councillors have got their wits about them. I'm trying to set up a meeting with Mrs. Reynolds this morning. How long do you see it lasting? Meeting? The council? Well, I don't see any reason it shouldn't. Not if it works the way Maya intended. Well, we'll never achieve anything if we don't show a united front. If we start presenting a too united front, it might get Renault's back up. She's coming down on everything these days. Well, if this meeting comes off, we'll see how she feels. I mean, once she sees that we're trying to be responsible, she may ease off. Here you are, dear. Right.
Oh, my goodness! What happened?
Oh, what'd you do that for?
What?
It sounded like a shot.
What was it? I just wanted a fly.
It's washing them, I suppose.
Just keep walking, Kelly. Did I frighten you, love?
Awful mess. Who did that?
I didn't mean it. I'm sorry.
It's all right, Mr. Pringle. It's nothing serious. There's no use you getting upset. Accidents will happen.
Yeah, well, they always happen to me. I'm so useless.
You are not useless. Now, don't be silly.
Half of them were cracked anyway.
Do you want me to pick him up for you, love?
I am useless. It's just one wrong thing after another.
Now, that is not true. Look at the way you were yesterday when those dreadful men were here. And crawling all the way through the air conditioning like that.
It didn't help Mara and Tammy much, did it?
It wasn't your fault.
Most of us didn't even have the courage to try. And here you are, just getting upset over a little accident.
I'm sorry.
You poor kid.
Now, look, here's a fresh egg. You just blow your nose and we'll help you clean up, all right? Good girl.
But surely, if your parents are dealing with an Australian solicitor, they'd have mentioned it to you.
Well, I've not heard that much from them since the divorce. Apparently, this bloke told Pat that they'd given him something to deliver to me. I mean, maybe it's a letter explaining what it's all about.
But it doesn't make sense. If they needed a solicitor, they'd use someone they knew.
Well, he said he just got back from England. I mean, could have been there for years for all we know.
Dan, Burke is out to get you. And if the police are right, and he did rape that poor girl yesterday, then he's heading in your direction. And now we've got someone ringing the prison with some dodgy story about wanting your address.
Well, Pat did say it was just the flat number she gave.
Yeah, but you then only have to look in the phone book to find out the rest. Oh, I really think you should ring the police.
Look, let's wait and see if this letter or package, whatever, turns up. If it doesn't, we'll contact them.
All right.
Hey, you shouldn't worry so much. It's not good for you.
Looking for Inspector Grace?
Out, I'm afraid.
Any idea when he'll be back?
Heard about the fire. Bad luck.
Luck had nothing to do with it. That's why I'm here. The Ballingers have got a contract out on me.
Shouldn't think so. Accidents happen. Bound to with the pressure you've been under.
The only pressure I'm under is staying alive. I thought I might get some help from this place, but it looks like I was wrong.
Now, don't get unpleasant. It's being investigated.
Well, you might be interested to know I've already done a little investigating of my own. I've spoken to fellows, and he as good as admitted it. They want me dead.
Well, we better look into it then.
Oh, yes, you do that. And in the meantime, I would like a police guard so that I'm still around when you've finished looking into it.
I would have had the manpower, but...
Oh, I see. Of course, I suppose if I were to get hold of a gun and accidentally shoot fellows, you'd soon find the manpower to come looking for me then, wouldn't you?
We'll do what we can, all right?
What the hell did you think you were doing? Burning the bloody house down, for God's sake. Oh, what sort of plan is that? Any one of 100 things could go wrong, and obviously did.
We were unlucky.
Unlucky? You don't even have the sense to start the fire in the room she's in. Did you think the neighbours wouldn't notice? That nobody would call the fire brigade? You just didn't bloody think at all, did you?
We were unlucky.
Stop saying that. You've been around long enough to know that it's the simple plans that work. Have someone walk up behind her in the street. Gun at the back of the head, bang. Done. No problems. No way to trace it back to us. Now she's gone underground, we don't even know where to start looking for her.
Yes, we do.
What?
She's staying with some friends of hers. Someone got her out the house. Name's, Terry Malone.
How long have you known that?
Oh, since yesterday. I followed her.
And you didn't tell me?
Oh, I told Spike to tell you.
You tell me. You know what's at stake here, don't you? You know Arnie Bellinger wants that woman dead or else?
Well, yeah.
Or else! He'll have my head and your head, and I'm not just making noises. You know as well as I do what happens when Arnie gets angry.
What do you want me to do?
I want you to get out and do as I told you. Only this time, do it right. One more foul up, and I'll personally cut you apart before Arnie gets a chance. Got it?
Yeah.
All right, go on, get out. And don't come back until Ferguson's dead.
I'm sorry I caused so much trouble. I didn't mean to. I feel a lot better now.
She spent a very quiet night, Mrs. Reynolds.
Good. What we have to do now is make sure it doesn't happen again.
Oh, won't, I promise. I'm not going to do something like that again.
Well, just to make sure, I've arranged for a psychiatrist to visit you, Dr. Weissman.
A psychiatrist? You're not going to send me to the loony bin, are you?
No, of course not. We just want to understand what makes you so tense sometimes.
Oh, geez, I wouldn't know what to say to a psychiatrist. Does this mean I won't be able to go out in the garden anymore?
I don't think we need to go that far. In fact, I've arranged for some time for you out there after lunch.
Oh, great, thanks.
Mrs. Morris will take you back now. And if you have any problem at all, you can mention it to one of the officers, all right?
I'll be right, thanks.
What do you think?
Well, she does seem to be coming out of it, but I'll keep up sedation till we get Wiseman's report and give us a better idea as to whether the depression is related to the siege or not.
Yes, Mrs. Barry mentioned that Julie Egbert was feeling very much on edge this morning. Could be a symptom of the same thing.
Well, there could be another explanation for Daphne's problems. She's starting a period. It could be premenstrual syndrome.
Yes, I wondered about that myself, but there's no mention of it in the medical records from Barnhurst.
I noticed. I also noticed that it was a Dr. Cuthbert who made out those records. The nursing profession's been having a running battle with him ever since PMS was discovered. He just won't accept it exists. He calls it an excuse for troublemakers.
That's ridiculous.
Well, not to an arch-conservative like him, it isn't. He's still back in the 19th century.
I think it's time we started our own checking. Thanks for your help. I'll get onto it straight away.
I was thinking I might ask Mr. Reynolds for a couple of nice older gents to screw.
I don't think that's what the council's all about, Eddie.
Any more ideas like that and we'll be laughed out of the room.
I'm only trying to help. It's more than you're doing, criticising all the time.
I didn't ask you to come in here and annoy us, did I? You're the one who wanted to be shifted out of the kitchen.
Oh, Lady Muck, is it?
Now, look, let's not bicker amongst ourselves before we even get there. It was hard enough setting up the meeting for this morning as it was.
I think we should look at buying. Now, a few extra items would go a long way to restoring morale in this place, especially since the siege. Don't you think so, Laura?
Go a long way to improving your little trade too, wouldn't it, Matt?
Now who's bickering?
If there's going to be any more buy-up, I reckon gentlemen officers should bring it in.
Eddie!
Typical, isn't it? The slightest little change in your routine and you're all off chasing your tails again. What's the matter with you, Beecham? You look surprised to see me in one piece.
Why didn't you kill Ballinger? We hear you had the chance.
Well, Flynn, the difference between you lot and me is that I don't enjoy killing.
We were all in the same boat, Miss Ferguson. I hope you haven't forgotten that.
Oh, that was 2 days ago. 2 whole days, Collins. More than enough time to get things back to the way they should be. Oh, of course, I know what you're all thinking. You're thinking that I owe you one for supposedly protecting me, Well, the fact is, I don't owe you lot anything. And don't you forget it.
You owe Myra for that overdose you tried on her.
Is that so? Well, I'll tell you what, Flynn. The next time I see her, I'll apologise in person, all right?
I didn't know anyone was here.
Hey, why'd you stop?
I don't want to annoy anyone.
Oh, it's not annoying me. I thought it was real nice.
You like the music?
Yeah. Well, it was a bit sad. What was it?
It's French. It's called Clair de Lune by Claude Debussy, from a piece called Sweet Burger Mask.
Oh, doesn't sound very French, but... Hey, you must love music a lot to know so much about it, eh?
It's always been the most important thing in my life. I plan to make a career of it, but...
Yeah? My auntie showed me how to play a tune once.
Show me.
Oh, no, it's just something real simple. It's
Now,
nothing.
go on, play it.
Okay. Well, it's sort of like this.
That's very good.
This is what we want.
I still think we should ask for changes to the buy-up rules.
The whole idea of the council is to improve things for everyone, not just feather your nest.
I will never cease to be amazed at your constant determination to misinterpret my every suggestion, Meg.
Well, that is a mouthful, dear, even for you.
Hey, don't you two start. We're supposed to be presenting a united front.
Yeah, divided we stand, united we fall.
I couldn't agree more.
What did you say?
Morning, ladies.
Morning, Mrs. Reynolds. Please sit down.
There seem to be some new faces on the council.
Yes, well, Chucky's not very well. She had a little accident.
Well, not so much an accident that she had, but some dishes she was holding, you see. There was this fly that was all flying.
Thanks, Eddie.
She's still a bit upset.
She asked me to sit in for her, Mrs. Reynolds.
And I'm just temporary until we can elect a new chairman.
I see. And Jenkins?
On sick call. A sort of tommywog, I think.
Well, it shouldn't stop us making worthwhile progress.
Well, if everyone's agreed, I declare this meeting open. Now, first of all, the women think they should be consulted on decisions that affect them. And regarding work release, well, we thought classes could be held during working periods.
A lot of the women feel they'd like extra exercise periods outside.
After tea as well.
All right, I'll discuss these with the department.
How serious are they going to take them?
I'll see they're considered on their merits. Of course, this has to work both ways. If the department's going to deal with you as representatives of the women, they have to feel confident that you do actually have total support.
Oh, we certainly do. After all, they did elect us democratically.
The majority, but what about the others? Can you be sure they'll cooperate?
They'll cooperate. Now, there is one other thing, Mrs. Reynolds, if that's all right. Well, the women have agreed for money to be taken out of their accounts to buy a wreath for Myra. And we would like your permission if Nora could take her to the funeral.
I don't see why not. Now, as you know, some of the women are still very much on edge. I'm hoping this council will show itself responsible by cooperating with the officers to keep disturbances to a minimum. Well, I think Mrs. Reynolds will genuinely go to bat for us.
Remember what she said, though, about everyone having to support it?
Well, surely they must all realise it's in their own best interests.
Let's hope the message sinks in.
Well, we'll try and get Eddie to decipher her scrawls after lunch for everybody and see what they think.
Oh, how are you, love?
Good. Hey, no. Thanks for the chicken and chips. It's really great.
You're my mate, aren't you?
Hey, how'd the meeting go?
Very well. We've asked for extended exercise hours, which means you'll be able to spend more time in the garden.
That's great. What do you reckon about that, Jen? Hey, is it all right if we come and sit with you when we got our dinner?
Well, I don't know about both.
Yeah, that'll be fine, love. Why don't you?
Come on, Jen, I'm starving. Let's get some food.
Now, it's really very sociable with us sitting around the table with Mrs. Reynolds and Meg, and mind you, when we get down to business, I put me spoke in too, you know. Hey, you there, love?
Oh, sorry, it was just thinking.
Oh, that's all right, love. I suppose it's pretty boring if you don't understand politics.
Yeah. Hey, look, did you really mean it when you said if I ever needed money I could ask you for it?
Of course I meant it.
I don't need much, just $30. I'll pay you back. It's just that time I ripped off Mrs. B. Well, Myra said she'd get her money back, and I've been thinking, all the trouble I caused her. I reckon I ought to try and square that promise for her out.
I think she'd like that, love.
I could save my own money, but it'd take forever. And with my parole coming up, thought I'd try and fix it before I got out.
Well, that's easy done. Might be able to put in a little bit of extra too. After all, I do have to make it up to you after all that trouble I caused over that funny cigarette.
Yeah, I'll forget it. $30 would do fine.
Oh, you never know. I might be able to line something up for you when you get on the outside, eh? Let's see what happens, eh?
Did they say how the first night in the flat went?
Oh, yes. They said that when they had a close look, the condition of the place was disgusting. There were piles of dirt just swept under the carpet, and there was something growing from the bathtub. Now, I said to Joyce, if that had been me, I would have contacted the health department.
Well, if they think the bathroom's bad, they should look in the little drawer at the bottom of the stove.
Now, hang on, I cleaned that out myself.
And a very sloppy job you made of it, too.
Thank you very much. Well, next time you move, you can do all your own dirty work.
I have absolutely no intention of ever moving again.
Oh, yes?
Oh, yes. Hardly seems fair.
What?
You having the afternoon off. I think you've asked nicely to let me have it too.
Oh, I think you'd be terribly bored in that flat alone all day.
Oh, that wasn't what I was planning to do.
Oh, Joan, there's no use using that. I've just refilled it. Look, you shouldn't have come in today, not after what you've been through.
As if any of you lot care what happens to me.
Well, it's hard to believe, but some of us do. What's the matter?
Nothing. Nothing a cup of coffee wouldn't have fixed, but I suppose that's too much to expect.
What was that all about?
With her, who knows?
What do you want here? Haven't you done enough?
You don't have to talk to me like that. You've got no cause to blame me for any of this.
And who else is to blame? You're the one who made the police think I murdered Nana.
I only told them what I saw.
You didn't. You told them I'd murdered her. How could you say that?
I only told them what I saw. They drew their own conclusions. Anyway, that's why I'm here now. George the gardener, he saw something too. Something he didn't tell me about until now. Well, seems to me you've got the right to know.
Know what?
The morning before your grandmother was killed, he found marks in the gravel outside her bedroom window and footprints leading off into the grass, as though someone had put a ladder up there, he said.
Well, that'd be the morning after she had that nightmare. Did you look? Are the marks still there?
No. He looked again the next day after the body had been found, but the gravel had been all smoothed over again. But he did find some cigarette butts near the front gate, and he thought that was a bit odd since no one on the staff smokes.
Well, did he tell the police?
Oh, he didn't think it was any of his business. You know, George. It's taken him until now to decide to tell me about it.
Well, there you are. Now you can tell them I didn't do it.
I don't know that. All I know is there's a chance that someone else climbed in through the bedroom window. And so long as there's a chance, well, I'm not going to have anything on my conscience. That's why I'm telling you.
Well, you have to get George and take him to the police right away.
Oh, I don't think he'd want to do that.
Oh, he has to. Don't you see what's happening here? I could spend the rest of my life in prison for something I didn't do. He has to talk to them, tell him, take him to see them.
Well, I'll try.
You must. I'll get my solicitor to follow it up right away. Oh, thank God, at last. Something I can use to fight back.
Hi, Mrs. Reynolds gives us that extra time out here because the garden needs doing. There's never any time for stuff like that.
I'm here to work, not talk. You get over there and do what you're supposed to do. I am going over there where I don't have to listen to you.
Get down! I said get down!
Well, I'll just go up and change. I'll be back in a minute.
Oh, now listen, what about this box of Dennis's things? Do you want to take that now?
Oh, yes, might as well.
Oh, nothing very exciting, I'm afraid. Some old magazines, aftershave lotion, and a book on how to play the harmonica. I didn't know he was musical.
Well, he isn't. Must have belonged to the people before him.
Now listen, what about a cup of tea before you go?
No, I'll take this up first.
You know, it's going to be fun being there, isn't it? Very handy when one of us needs to borrow a cup of sugar.
Well, we'll have to organise ourselves not to both run out at the same time.
And we must all have dinner together, just the four of us, very soon, to celebrate Mervyn and I moving in here and Dennis moving upstairs with you.
Yes, that'd be nice.
Good. See you soon.
And you're sure you didn't see where the shots came from?
No, I've told you. The first one missed me by inches. I took cover, the next two hit the barbecue. That's all I know. Now, look, you've seen where they hit. Surely you can tell what direction they came from.
We're working on it. The prisoner you were with. No any reason someone might want to get hurt?
Her? I've already told you. It's me they're after.
We have to look at every possibility.
What does it take to convince you? For God's sake, it's the second attempt in 2 days. Arnie Ballinger wants me dead. It's as simple as that.
We can't say for sure the two incidents are related.
We'll have to talk to his wife, see what we can get out of her.
Well, why don't you just pick up Lionel Fellows? He's their top man here. He does all the arranging for them.
That's easier said than done.
Oh, I see. Got friends, has he?
No need for that. We all want to see him behind bars, but we can't move against him until we've got absolute proof.
Well, I will give you the proof. I will testify against him. I'll say anything you want me to say.
When the time's right. He'll slip up sooner or later. We'll get him then.
Yeah. And what happens to me in the meantime?
We'll give you all the protection we can. Now, let's get you home, right?
Don't worry. We'll see you all right.
Yeah. Look, I'll meet you in reception. I've got to make a phone call.
Right.
Hello? Blackmore Detention Centre?
Oh, yes. Hello. Is Cynthia Leach there, please?
Speaking.
Well, I should have recognised that voice. It's Joan Ferguson.
Joan? How are you keeping?
Well, I've been better. Listen, I need a favour. Do you have much access to Ruth Ballinger?
Oh, yes. I don't go near her any more than I can help, though. I like the smell.
I know what you mean. Listen, Cynthia, this is really important. It's life and death, if you know what I mean. Do you think you can help me?
Anything for a friend. What do you want me to do?
Let me see. Now, that's for the kitchen, right. Teapot. Can't make tea without a teapot. Right, that's got it.
Luckily, she wasn't hurt. The police have taken her home and they're putting a guard on her. Meg, I know it's a nuisance, but this has made me short-handed, and since you're going to be in tonight, I was wondering if you'd come in a bit early. Yes, that's fine. I appreciate it. You all right? You sound a bit tense. Okay, I'll see you then. Come in. Hartley's here, Governor.
Thank you for seeing me, Mrs. Reynolds. This is important. They'll have to believe me now.
Sit down. Now, what's this all about?
Mrs. Goddard was just here. George the gardener found ladder marks underneath Nana's window the night before she was killed.
The night before?
Yes. Someone attacked her that night. She woke up screaming that someone was trying to kill her, but when I went in, there was no one there. She said they'd gone out the window, but I thought she'd just had a nightmare or was trying to get attention. But she wasn't. Whoever killed her came back again the next night.
It is possible, I suppose.
It's what really happened. And once Mrs. Goddard gets George to tell the police, well, they can go after the real murderer. They'll start believing I'm innocent.
I sincerely hope you're right. No one would be happier than me to see you cleared.
Oh, yes, they would. Me. At last I can get out of here.
Now, you can't say I'm not a romantic at heart. Here we are, an old married couple, and I'm still bringing home wine and roses. Oh, the lass is lost for words. Hey, you look like you've seen a ghost. There's been no word from our solicitor friend, has there?
I think I can help you out there, Dean.
He used to give me roses. I wish he could again. But that was on the outside, and things were different then. On the inside, the sun still shines, and the rain falls down. But the sun and rain are prisoners too when morning comes around. Last night I dreamed we were together, sharing all the love we'd known, till I had to face the nightmare of waking up alone. On the inside, the roses grow. They don't mind the stony ground, but the roses here are prisoners too when morning comes around.